So if you do go to a dealership and you do grab this piece right here, it's got a little button to let you take the air out. So we put a little water in. We took the valve stem out, right? And then we looks like that guy there. And you take the whole thing out with a little tool that you don't have to pick up at a John Deere dealership, but it helps because you can just get it all right there, and unless you have one. Pull that guy out. Don't let this thing completely die. And then this is the silver piece right here is the one that I got from the dealership, and that hooks directly to a garden hose, and it does have a little valve that we're using right here, like so, and that lets all the air out. And you're going to want to have the tire with the valve stem at the top. I somehow managed to have both tires with the valve stem at the complete 12 o'clock position, so the timing was right. Our air compressor's working. I got my bead seater, so obviously nothing can happen that we can't fix, so nothing's happening. And then, well, whatever. So we fill this thing up for a few minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, let the air out, turn it back on, let the air out, and the goal here is to completely bleed all the air out of the tire that we can, because once we get this thing completely full of water and at a decent pressure, the water shoots out very, very fast in a nice clear stream. And yeah, you're not going to want to have any air in it. And that way, the tire weighs as much as it possibly can, and if your pressure is a little low, you can always add a little bit of air to it. We're going to go ahead and test it whenever we've got this thing in there, and we can bleed off a little bit fairly easily. So it's actually not as hard as I made it the first time. I really made this as hard as I possibly could. I was doing all kinds of things and ended up into something of a disaster, which I've thrown on the internet, because if you mess things up, you're going to want to show other people how to not do it, and I'm very good at that. I've broke almost every single thing that I've got for the tractor, but I haven't broke the tractor, so we're good. And this is like a $30 thing to buy yourself thousands of dollars worth of weight. So let's keep moving. All right, so it's
in theory, it's going to try to compress the air somewhere.
Yeah, we're going to have a little bit of air in here, but yeah, you can see how solid it is. It's pretty solid, and we're going to lose a lot of that pressure in the struggle to cap this well. Yeah, no, I only had it on. So this is 10 minutes of water right here. I've got fairly decent water pressure. I'm trying not to stand directly in the way of this tire, although it is still attached to the tractor, so there's probably no safe place to stand if it decides to do anything ridiculous, but I don't think it will. It's the water is no more than 70 psi, and it's probably nowhere near that, to be honest. In fact, I think I'll test it after this just to see where we were at. I'll throw that on the video as well. Oh. No, it takes a second for my automatic water to click on.
Is that it?
I think.
That's it.
Oh.
There's no more air.
All right, so whatever pressure I'm at is the pressure this thing's at. So let's get ready to struggle with this thing. All right, let's see if I can have one hand and you do the other.
Let's get it kind of loose.
So even though the little thing spring...
watch your camera.
Even though the that thing spins freely, it's under so much pressure that we can't quite get it. Let's see if I can get on camera this stream, though. This thing is pretty epic. All right. I can grab that and hand it to you.
Okay.
Probably help a little bit. Probably a good idea if you want to do this to have one of those nicer hoses. Alaric, you're going to get wet, buddy. And that's the kind of pressure it comes out as. Pretty awesome. And my brother's really good at putting that back in there.
I spent 5 years doing it, so.
Yeah, so that water comes out of there really, really good. So we're gonna have to see what the pressure is. I've got a couple of different things that I might try doing that with, but that's a lot of pressure, so I want to make sure we're doing this correctly. All right, so let's see what kind of pressure. The other side was at 30. Oh, come on. This thing never likes to focus. Ooh, we might have to do something here. So we did a pretty good job of pressurizing.
Warm.
Oh, really?
That's weird.
That is really weird. I think it's I think the PVC that he's ran my pumping system out here is too close to the surface. I think that's one of the big deals. So I have a well, and my well is usually in the mid to low 50s, even in summer. So
that's still 42.
And this might take a little bit. You know, I got a cheap hold-on type one.
Yeah, but that's gonna put water through it.
I bought a nice, expensive one though. Well, no, I'll probably put that other one in the car.
Yeah, we might need to mount that other one in that green truck when I put the power supply in it.
Yeah. So, already plans for the cheeseburger one that I showed everyone. This guy here, excuse me, puppy dog. So, this thing did a little tour of the property today, and I went ahead and plugged it in, and it works over here now, magically. It's infuriating. But that's just a side story to this thing, because that's what started the whole thing. I probably would not have impulse purchased a giant air compressor if I didn't have a bead seeder on the way, and probably wouldn't have bought a bead seeder because I didn't know what one was, and if this tire's best buddy on the other side hadn't have went all sideways on me there. So, yeah, doing pretty good here. The other side's about perfect, maybe slightly low, 5 psi, but I'm not going to lose sleep over it, and I may just throw another 5 psi in it. It's not that big of a deal. But this guy here is 15 over, so we're going to be real careful with it here. And again, so this is water. It's just putting water in the tires, not putting beet juice or something like that. So if you live not in a place where winter kind of looks like this and is t-shirt weather, you might not want to do it. But yeah, if you're where we are, you know, 35. All right, so let's drop this thing and see what it looks like to drive.